All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Julie Mincey, and I serve Sanford as Director of Greek Life. This morning, I am excited to spend some time with a new colleague and friend, Tommy Taylor. So, if you have not had the opportunity to meet Tommy yet, this is your time. So, hey, Tommy, thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Julie. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you for a few minutes.
Good morning. So, Tommy, you're new to Samford, but you have had a whirlwind since your
Yes,
first day.
yes. It has been unreal. I actually arrived officially on March the 1st, and COVID came 2 weeks after that. And we basically were in COVID duty in DPS and public safety for the next 6+ months. And I'm anxious now to get started on why I really came here as the chief of police, and that's to really push forward the community engagement model for law enforcement that I think is most effective on college campuses. And so that's what I'm wanting to do.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm really glad that you're here. I can't wait for students to meet you. Thank you for talking a little bit about your journey at the beginning. You've been here since, COVID hit our campus, and I know you have been in all of the workings to bring back the Sanford Bulldogs and us to have a successful semester.
It's been
So
a super busy 6 months. Yes.
I'm sure it has. So this morning, we really want to talk to the Greek community about how to have a successful semester. So talk to us a little bit about recognizing some of that frustration and anxiety of following all the new rules that we have. So wearing
Sure.
masks, washing, and distancing.
I'll be glad
What
to.
advice do you have?
Yeah, first and foremost, let me tell you that I completely understand frustration with wearing these masks. You can see this one around my neck. I think at last count, I have over 30 masks, and because I wear them so often, I have to rotate them in and out, and I'm outside a lot. But I
Yeah.
do completely understand the frustration with it because they're not comfortable. There's nothing good about wearing a mask. But I will tell you this, I do firmly believe that they are one of the best tools we have in place to
Mhm.
minimize the exposure and contagion factors regarding COVID-19. Again, I understand that people don't like to wear them because I don't like to wear them. But I think by wearing them now, being proactive on the front end, which is also a part of community engagement, by the way, but being proactive on the front end, it will allow the Greek students on campus and off campus as well to have a more fulfilling, more Sanford-like university experience down the road. If we don't do the right things now, it's not just that we'll be wearing these masks for the next few weeks. We'll be wearing these masks for the next several months. And what I don't want to do is to look up and be having the same conversation this time next year when there was something we could have done right now to avoid it. So I completely get it.
Well, I am sure that the students really appreciate your empathy. And so let's talk about gatherings and what that looks like. And a lot of people are thinking that they might not have opportunities to gather, but what's your advice on gathering on campus and still being able to have fun and socialize while also following the rules, following guidelines, and protecting ourselves and our community?
I certainly understand again the level of anxiety about wanting to commune with your friends, especially in the Greek system, where so much is centered around activities and fellowship and conversations and get-togethers, functions. I get that. I think we just have to be mindful at this particular point in time that being in a large group setting not only puts you at risk, but it puts your fellow students at risk, the university at risk, the families that you go to, home to, it puts them at risk. So I would ask students just to be mindful. Again, I keep touching my mask because the key is the mask.
Yes.
Certainly maintaining social distance between your friends and classmates and those types of things is very important. They give the rule of 6 feet and 15 minutes is typically the rule when it comes to the contagion factor for COVID-19. But I just encourage people when you are meeting one another and when you're talking, and certainly you're going to do that and you should do that. When you're meeting one another and spending time with each other, just keep some distance between you and the people around you. I know it's not as intimate and close of a setting. I completely understand that. I also understand that when you're trying to keep distance and you're wearing a mask, it's hard to communicate with people because in my world in law enforcement, I like being able to see people's faces because by
Yes.
by watching what their body says tells me more about what they're saying sometimes than what their words say. So I completely understand that when you're distancing, you're having to basically shout to talk to one another, and I know that's aggravating as well. But keeping that distance is so key to us being able to keep the campus open, not just here, but every university everywhere. So I encourage the smaller the group, the better, naturally, just because the law of averages, the larger the number of people that are in the group or gathering, the greater the chance that somebody in that group may have COVID. I know all of you test, and I've been tested numerous times myself, and thankfully negative every time.
Mm.
But the law of averages works against you. The larger the group, the greater the chance that somebody in that group is going to have COVID. And sometimes statistics show that about 75% of people who have COVID have absolutely zero symptoms.
Right,
So it's not the same as saying, well, student A feels ill, so let's make sure we don't talk to student A really closely.
right.
It's the people that you have no idea that they have it, that you can actually catch it, or that you may have it and not know it, and can then give it to someone else. So, small groups are fine. Just keep your distance. Make sure if it's an off-campus activity, please be mindful that right now the university is strongly encouraging students not to have large gatherings either on campus or off campus.
Right.
Um, Students are held to the code of conduct at the university, regardless of whether that's at an apartment complex,
Yeah.
at a rec center, at a restaurant, or here on campus. The code of conduct is the code of conduct. So I would just encourage students to be mindful of that.
Great. So I've had a few students tell me they've seen the public safety officers a little bit more out and about. And of course, their first response is, well, I guess that makes sense because of COVID and police officers will be, making sure people wear masks. And there might be some truth to that, but you mentioned community engagement and community policing model. What does that mean to you, and what's your overall goal about your officers in the Sanford community?
Well, it's a great question. First and foremost, the very premise behind my job here at Sanford University, certainly it's law enforcement and safety for the students, faculty, and staff that come on campus. But I believe the best way to achieve that objective is through community engagement. That basically, in a nutshell, means being proactive on the front side with students, faculty, and staff when nothing is wrong. So that when something does happen, there is an issue, there is a question, there's already a relationship that's built there where they have confidence in contacting us, knowing that we're going to help them. And you see my officers out and about more now because that is something that I'm really stressing and pushing them to do. Not just for COVID. Certainly, it's important for them to walk around and encourage people to wear their masks. But something that I've told them: don't just tell people to wear their masks. Thank them when they are wearing their masks, because that's that proactive approach that's, to me, that's so much more effective than telling a student put your mask on. Is for every one that you tell you're grateful they're wearing it, that spreads itself. So again, as part of community engagement, you'll see officers out and about more from now on every shift, evenings, midnights, it doesn't matter when it is. I want you to see my officers out and about and engaging the community.
That's great. Well, we've talked about, the empathy with frustration of wearing masks and following guidelines. We've talked about, that you still can have fun and socialize, but, wear your mask and social distance, and community engagement with your officers as they are more out and about, especially this fall, on campus and off campus events. I know that the students might not be encouraged since, there's no organized or official Greek
Right.
events that are able to be allowed. Are there any final thoughts or final advice that you would like to give to the Greek life community in
Sure.
particular?
Certainly. Again, I just really appreciate the opportunity to be at Sanford University. It's truly a blessing for me to be here. Uh, what I do here, I'm passionate about, and that's engaging students. It's something that I believe changes lives now and down the road. And I want the Greek community to be completely comfortable with contacting me or anybody in this agency, but especially to contact me. I'm not hard to find. 726-2020 is the number here to the police department. And I enjoy engaging with students. I enjoy coming to meetings and talking with them about safety issues or COVID issues or really anything that they have on their hearts or minds. And that's what I enjoy doing. But if students for right now can just be patient and understanding and even be compassionate with one another regarding the things that we really are pushing hard here at the institution. And it's just the basic three things: wear your mask,
Mhm.
keep your distances, and make sure you use good hand hygiene. Those are three critically important things that are simple to do. I'm not saying they're fun, but they're
Right.
simple to do, and they give us a level of responsibility that will allow us to have a better normal university experience down the road. And that's my goal. I want you to have your charter activities. I want you to
Yeah.
have your events and functions. I want you to have those things,
Right.
but I want you to be safe while we're building up to that.
Right. Well, thank you, Tommy, for being on our team,
Yes,
and thank
ma'am.
you for spending some time with us and getting to meet the Samford Greeks virtually.
I look
Thank you.
forward to working more closely with you and each of them as well. So please let me know if there's anything I can do at any time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.